The Nigerian army has accused human rights group Amnesty International of working to destabilise and dismember the country. The allegation is contained in a statement from the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sani Usman, who claims it is based on credible information. According to the statement, the Nigerian branch of Amnesty International has deviated from the core values, principles and objectives of the global organization. The Army spokesman says the non-governmental organization is engaged in, quote, fabrication of fictitious allegations of alleged human rights abuses against the Nigerian security forces and clandestine sponsorship of dissident groups to protest, as well as unfounded allegations against the leadership of the Nigerian military, end of quote. He adds that Amnesty International's efforts include using the Boko Haram conflicts, the Islamic movement in Nigeria, some activists and the clashes between farmers and herders. Brigadier General Usman also alleges that the NGO is on the verge of releasing yet another concocted report against the military and warns that the army would call for the closure of Amnesty offices in Nigeria if such recklessness continues. The army had last week, Friday, suspended the activities of UNICEF in the northeast, but shortly after lifted the suspension following the intervention of well-meaning Nigerians. Joining us now is a human rights activist and the CEO of Connected Development, Amzat Lawal. Thank you for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So what do you make of the Nigerian Army's accusation against Amnesty International?
I think that the Nigerian Army has just lost a huge opportunity in engaging stakeholders and releasing counter figures or narrative of the report that was released today by Amnesty International. Since all of this crisis between the farmers and the herders, no any group, both government or civil society or even anyone from the community have come with clear information and evidence to show that we have lost over 4,000 lives. And today, Amnesty International is telling the Nigerian government, particularly advising the Nigerian army, of how irresponsible they have been and how their actions have affected the Nigerian citizen. And I believe that for the Nigerian army, this was an opportunity for them to look into the reports with an open mind and give concrete feedback, and then come out strong to share with the Nigerian people that this is where they are, and this is how they would ensure that they curtail violence in the near future.
Well, Amnesty's accusation is not the first of its kind, but they have been the most consistent. Is there some truth in the accusations? And apart from that, the way it reflects on the army, how detrimental could such a report be on the army's efforts in the fight against insurgency?
I think that first we need to, as a matter of fact, commend the army for their fights on the insurgents and other clashes that is happening across the country. But then again, these reports that was released by Amnesty International have evidence. This data was properly researched and released. And I believe that it was released to help governments on their decision, particularly around tackling issues around security that affect citizens. And come to think of it, the Nigerian army have not been able to inform adequately key stakeholders, and particularly the Nigerian people, on how, what are their strategies in tackling insurgency, particularly how much money has gone for the fight against insurgency since 2015 to date. You know, there've been no oversight and no proper accounts. And it calls for broader transparency and accountability so that they can build good public perception and build confidence in the Nigerian citizens.
Well, indeed, this is a complicated war going on in the Northeast, but what role should human rights activist groups and civil society groups play in the fight against insurgency?
Well, the role is across board, and particularly for civil society, we must always provide government with evidence-based data on their activeness and inactiveness and how this is affecting people at the grassroots, particularly poor people. And of course, we must note that what is the cost of a human life? And this is where the role of civil society comes in play, to say that we must ensure that we protect the lives of citizens and ensure that they are dignified irrespective of where they find themselves. And of course, while supporting and commending the Nigerian army, but there must be broader transparency and accountability in the part of the army to bring key stakeholders on the table, to share key knowledge and information that they can gather their support across board.
Well, Hamzat Lawal, human rights activist, thank you for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.